We also do this one thing to where we ask all of our guests about the day they lost their virginity. Welcome back to the #1 podcast in Houston. We are the Yacht Club. We are #1. That is a statistical fact on all streaming platforms at this point. iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. I go by the name of Ray. My co-host DeSanti is sitting here today, and we're here with the legendary DJ JayCEEOH.
What up?
Yes, JayCEEOH. So he won VH1's Master the Mix.
VHS.
Okay, close. But he started off as a turntablist in the hip-hop scene and is now an EDM dubstep producer. And he's worked hand-in-hand with Redman under the name 1000 Volt. And he's worked with Right 10, Zed's Dead. Who else? Snails?
Lots more.
A lot of... And he was Wiz Khalifa's tour DJ.
Yeah,
which
one
is
of his first
amazing.
DJs.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
so he
that's a
has
new
a
one.
lot of good collaborations under his belt. And you've been in the game for over 20 years, right?
Yeah, I started DJing in 8th grade, and it's just been my passion ever since, and just never gave up.
Yeah, and you just ended up taking off, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's still a grind, you know. I'm in a good place now that a lot of people wish they could be, but also don't feel like where I deserve to be in terms of the EDM totem pole, but it's all good. Like, I'm grinding, I'm out here, you know, I'm not working, so.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, that's human nature, right? I mean, there's like this meme to where there's this like business guy with a briefcase sitting on a bench, and there's a homeless guy right next to him, and they're both thinking the same thing, and they're like, I wish I had more money. Yeah. You know, it's like no matter where you get in life, you always want more. Yeah. So
it's not even about money completely. It's just like overall, just recognition for the art and performances that I do. You know? Yeah. But it's like when you come and see me live, like anyone who hasn't seen me before, like, what the fuck? How have I not heard of JayCEEOH?
Yeah.
And then once they go back and listen to my music too, they're like, how did I not know about this?
Yeah.
Which is cool at the same time because I get to expose people. But you know, for me, it's just like. My shit just needs to get to the masses more, you know?
Yeah.
I think it will. Do you use social media marketing?
I mean,
You're
in terms
on Twitter.
of what? Yeah, of course. I mean, social media is like the necessary evil of this whole shit, you know? It's no longer based on how good of a performer you are or how good your music is. It's like how good are your interactions on social media.
Your brand.
So I have no choice but to be a slave to social media like the rest of us.
Right.
Yeah.
As a consumer, I've been in the EDM scene for almost 4 years, and the EDM Twitter scene started really going heavy around last year.
Right.
So I feel like this is the time now where it's so easy for someone to post a good video or post like something funny, or I saw your Yeti video. Yeah. That was really funny. Anything like that could even bring attention to someone. That's,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's about being, social media is more about being just clever and funny than like actual musical content.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's fun and stupid and annoying.
Yeah.
And great at the same time. You know?
You're either right
but
or
it's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's just the name of the game, man. Whatever hits off. You never know what it's gonna be. So DeSanti mentioned Redman. Man, that guy takes me so far back. How did you get in touch with him?
We actually linked up on the first record I ever did with him was called Turn Me Up Zone, where I actually just sampled one of his vocals and I was just going to release it for free, and we got booked for the same festival in Croatia. And like it was an artist only pool party just on the beach in Croatia, beautiful, fucking chill as hell, like super laid back, and Red was just chilling there. It's like, fuck it, I'm going to just go roll up on him and say what's up. And I was like, yo, I'm a DJ, I'm on this festival, I sampled you on the song, can I play it for you? Just played it off the iPhone in the middle of this party on the beach. He's like, this shit's rocking, like. I was like, would you be down to like get on the shit and redo the vocals, make it official? He's like, hell yeah. Gave me his number. A few months later, we knocked it out. A few months after that, I launched my record label, Super 7 Records, off that single and put a bunch of money into it. And Red was really impressed with the response of the record and just me, as well as being an artist, as being like a businessman, like really doing it the right way.
Yeah.
He's like, send me a bunch of beats. And then I sent him the next day. He's like, I'm going to write to all of these. Then over the course of a couple years, he would send me ideas, and they're kind of all over the place, not really on the mark. Then we hit a groove on a couple of records. We're like, yo, if this is the vibe, like we could fucking do a whole project, do a group, tour off the shit. And we've been working on it for years and being really like careful and sensitive of what we put out, and when we've only done 2 full sets since we've been working together for years, but it's like it's being very like meticulous in how we roll it out. So it's like a fucking big deal when it happens instead of just like oversaturating ourselves.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Was that like a cornerstone of your career?
I mean, for sure, because I started as a hip hop like turntablist, battle DJ, and like some of my first records were Redman records, and How High is like one of my favorite moves of all time. So it's just like one of my childhood idols is now like one of my best friends, and I'm in a group with him. So it still trips me out.
That's crazy, yeah. When she told me Redman, I just like lost my shit. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, I grew up on that, man. So we have a lot of like aspiring musicians and DJs in our audience.
Right.
And a lot of people just don't really know where to start.
Right.
So from your point of view and from the success that you've reached,
right,
what can you tell people to like, what's like the beginning step, honestly?
I mean, first and foremost, you got to master your craft. Like, don't get ahead of yourself. A lot of kids these days, they'll see like, you know, every once in a while someone will come out of nowhere and blow the fuck up. But in reality, like, that's a super small percentage of artists and musicians in this world that can do that. You know, the rest of us have to grind for every inch of it. So the main thing is like hone your craft. You can't be like, all right, I'm gonna make dubstep. I'm gonna make 2 songs and I'm gonna blow the fuck up. Like, no, you need to make like 100 songs.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
Yeah.
Like, it took me like, cause I started as a hip hop like club DJ, and then when I tried to come into the EDM space, initially I got pushback because everyone's like, oh, he's just trying to get in for the money. He's not really into this shit. I had to put out like 40 fucking tracks in a year to be like, all right, he's for real. Like, and now it's like all the biggest artists, like, you know, from Zed's Dead to Bass Nectar to Flostradamus.
Hell yeah.
All respect me for beyond my DJ skill and like the music I make. So it's like you really got to grind and like show and prove before. And even still, like all the shit I've done, it's like I still have to work for it, even though I feel like I deserve and I know I deserve certain things, but nothing's a given, you know. So you got to just work till it happens.
Yeah. Let's fucking go.
Does it ever start to feel like a job and then you have to kind of like kindle back that passion again?
Not really. I've always been super passionate about music and the DJing aspect of it. The only shit that feels like a grind and a job is just like managing social media shit, you know.
Oh yeah.
Just
really?
like it's just like you gotta post every day. What are you gonna post? What's the quote? Like all that shit is just like stresses me out.
What's the caption? Yeah.
I just want to fucking make music and crush shows, but I mean, obviously it's more than that. So, you know, that's probably the only annoying part of it. But I still love DJing since the first day I touched turntables.
Yeah. What was the initial aha moment for you?
What is that?
like when you were just like, I did this. Like, this is happening.
Did you like have another job at first and then you were like, okay, it's time to quit?
Kind of, but almost straight out of college, I was working at like a hip hop website called undergroundhiphop.com, which like sold like records and mixtapes and all that stuff. So it was like still in the industry, but I was like still doing some groundwork. But like within 6 months of graduating, I was able to start like just living straight off of like DJing in clubs and stuff. But like, you know, I've had a few aha moments, you know, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously winning a fucking $250,000 on VH1
was
pretty,
yeah.
That's pretty aha-ish.
Yeah, I'll take that.
You know, certain moments like when I did the 1,000 Volts record with Zed's Dead, and they brought us out to Red Rocks, and we shot my first time playing Red Rocks was like at a sold-out show with Zed's Dead, and we're shooting a music video and Redman's there. It's like all shit I manifested for years, like coming to fruition in one moment, you know. So shit like that. I mean, my life is pretty much full of aha moments. Like, it's just nonstop at this point, so it's pretty good.
I fucking love that.
Did you, since you come from a hip hop background, did you have to like, I guess not make yourself, but how did you garnish the taste for EDM? Because I have a lot of friends that listen to the type of music that I listen to.
Well, for me, it's like, because I wasn't just straight hip hop. I was like I started as straight hip hop, but then I was like an open format club DJ, so I was playing EDM in my sets. And then, so I always had the ear for every genre of music of just like what moves people and just what energy I want out of music. And so when I started producing electronic, I was naturally gravitated towards trap because it's the closest to hip hop. It's basically hip hop drums with electronic sound. So that's where I started. And then, you know, once I got comfortable in that, I just expanded to whatever the fuck I wanted, really. And it's just like, for me, it's just like my ear is like my biggest asset to me, because it's just like I have I've been DJing in clubs and been in crowds for so long. Like I know what works and what doesn't. You know.
Yeah. So it's that
I
ear, huh?
I know how to create that final project or product just based on. I know when it's ready or when it's not, you know.
Yeah. Some people just have that ear, you know. Yeah. Don't get in a fight with Mike Tyson, man.
Because like a lot of kids, like even dubstep producers, they'll be like the sickest sound designers ever, but in terms of making a groove and a finished product with a start to finish, they get kind of lost in it. So, you know, having that ear is like, to me, my most like valuable asset, you know.
Do you have Did you have the Yeti and the color Yeti?
Yeti. She does this every day.
In the Colorado set, or was that just?
Oh, he's there. But basically, I did that tour 2 years ago. It was basically, it's called Lifestyles as a company that does these like college, like winter ski trips for like kids on their winter break, and there's thousands of kids and they throw a private concert. 2 years ago, I did it with Hippie Sabotage, and this year it was me and Dylan Francis. And they have this dude in a Yeti suit, and they were like, we got this guy, he has a Yeti suit. I was like, yo, fucking bring him out. And like, we're fucking mosh pitting, fucking stage diving, and like this year, like it actually inspired my actual visuals for everywhere I go. I have a Yeti.
Yeah, that's dope.
But like, yeah, you'll see it tonight.
That's just dope how shit just falls into place like that.
Yeah.
All right, man, I gotta ask you, do you have a girlfriend?
I don't.
You don't? Okay, so tell me about like the groupie life, man. I gotta ask, man, because you're traveling the world. You're a big DJ right now. I'm sure people are throwing themselves at you left and right. You probably are like full of DMs. Give us a little bit. Give us like a little bit of it.
Trying to air me out right here.
How do you stay focused with girls staying?
I mean, the reality is like, yeah, we get hollered at, but like a lot of times, like we didn't even have enough time to like, even if we wanted to do shit, we're like playing a show. We got a flight a few hours later. Like I'm on tour with Snails. Like right after the show, like we have time to shower, and then the bus leaves to another city. Like there's not always as much time as you would think to just be like, all right, I'm done with the show. I'm gonna have a fucking orgy. It doesn't go down like that. But I mean, obviously,
don't ruin it for me.
Sometimes some things happen, and it's nice. But it's not as like, being a big DJ and like the whole rock star life is a lot more grueling than just like playing parties, doing drugs, and like having sex with girls. There's a lot more to it. So
segueing from that, you saying the word drugs. I used to be, and I'll start myself off like this. I used to be a heavy alcoholic. I used to be a heavy drug user. Next month, I'm 3 years sober.
Good for you, man.
And in the last 3 years, I've noticed nothing but pure growth and success. Where's your stance on that whole thing?
I mean, I've never, like, in terms of alcohol and drugs, like, abused to the point where it affects my life, Like, I do shit in moderation, and, like, when I'm feeling a certain way, I'll maybe do something, but I've never been the one to, like, go overboard with it, I mean, obviously some nights you get...
You're not one of the ones that throwing the TV out the window.
Nah, I'm like, because I've been in the game for a minute, so I'm not like brand new to the shit. So I know when and where to do shit and like how to moderate it so it doesn't get out of hand.
Okay, so you've been in the game for a bit. You're a veteran, right? Somewhat so. When you started off, though,
I was actually a late bloomer in terms of drug use. So
okay.
Early on, I was just scared to do shit. I was just smoking weed and like drinking, but. As years have gone on, I've tried some other things, but
Any crazy experiences though, like on specific nights, trashing rooms, Airbnbs?
Nah, I've never been a destructive.
That's a myth.
I don't.
No, it's not a myth. I've been in some.
I don't destroy things.
that
I remember.
Yeah.
I mean, those type of nights that shit does happen, you don't generally remember them. So
Fair enough.
I'm not going to call it.
JayCEEOh, the good guy.
Say something is going to come back to me when I run for president in 10 years.
You
said this on the Houston podcast.
So since you've been in the game for a long time, how do you make sure you maintain longevity in your career?
I mean, I'm just, like I said, it's like my ear, and I'm able, because I started from a position of playing all types of music, so I've never been boxed into one genre. A lot of artists are just like, I just make rhythm, I just do big room, It's like, I've always been known to do different shit. Like, within the last year, I've really focused on making like super like heavy, hard bangers and shit, which has helped to like kind of focus it in for fans and like shows and talent buyers. Be like, all right, JayCEEOh's gonna go hard. He's not gonna play Major Lazer like radio record, because I make shit like that too. But it's like, just for me, just being adaptable has given me longevity, and I'm just like a optimistic dude. You know, a lot of people will get discouraged and just like kind of fall off. Where me, like, I'm just super optimistic and do the work it takes to do what I want to achieve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I first heard of you last year, whenever the record dropped, the collab with the ZZ song.
Yeah, kill him.
But yeah, it really caught my eye. So I feel like because of Twitter, everything is spreading so fast now. That's how I found your song. So I feel like, you know, it's going to really benefit you this year.
Yeah, for sure. I've got a lot of big stuff coming up too, and just 1,000-volt shit, my solo shit. So it's like, things for me, like I've never had, like, since I've been in the electronic scene, like a oh shit like moment, but I've always been like on a rise. I've never like tanked off at all. So, you know, I think that's gonna speak to my longevity when some people disappear, and I'll still be here.
So speaking of longevity, man, tell me the importance in your industry of reputation and relationships.
I mean, that's super key. I experience it a lot. Like especially like this tour I just got off of, the Colorado like college thing. Like I did it a couple years ago, and even though I wasn't headlining, I fucking crushed it every night. I'm super nice to the whole team. Treat everyone with respect, and like people want to bring you back. But if you come through with an ego, treat people like shit, like yeah, you might get that money that one show, but they're not gonna fuck with you again. You know, it's like, and like shit spreads and comes back to you, especially in this day and age. Like you do some super foul shit to someone, it will come back, and some. All it takes is one salty person to let a tweet off. It gets retweeted and goes viral, and like your career's over. You know, so it's like, for me, I just, you know, try and be as good a dude as I can to everyone I run into, you know. Unless someone really fucks me over, I'm gonna be nice.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know.
What a great guy.
I could be I could be a fucking savage though, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, I'm not a little kitten, you know. I can fuck someone up if I have to, but I'm pretty chill and nice about it, so it's like,
I think that's,
I try to just give off good energy and you get it back. You get negative, you get negativity.
I think that's every man's nature as you grow older too. You just learn to let things go, unless, of course, like you said, unless something.
Women's.
Same difference.
You know.
Same.
Hey, so tell me about the road life, man. I'm sure you got family back home in LA, right?
I mean, I don't.
Close friends, maybe.
I'm single. Like,
yeah. What about like family, close friends, people you grew up with?
I mean, it's, you know, it's. I don't feel like the road life like hinders it. I mean, the only way it really hinders me is if I'm like actually in a real relationship. It's hard because I'm gone a lot.
Yeah.
You know, there's obviously jealousy issues. So that's the hardest part of it, I would say. But in terms of maintaining just like family relationships, friends, it's like it's all good. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
You know, they know other people, everyone's busy in their own lives.
Yeah.
You know? When I'm around, we do fun shit, and it's like, and being in my position, like sometimes I'll have times where I could like bring my friends to do like some dope ass shit. Like, like that Dylan Francis tour I just did.
Yeah.
It's like snowboarding, and part of the contract is I get 2 hotel rooms and free lift tickets for whoever I want. So like a bunch of my boys flew up and like they got to experience that for free. You know, it's like, it's cool to be able to share shit like that with your friends.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
How important is energy to you? People's energy around you.
Oh.
What'd you say?
I said all of it.
All of it.
His shows are just like.
No. Him is obviously him on stage.
You mean like vibes?
That is the energy. Yeah. Vibes, like energy from like outside sources, right?
I mean, like I was just saying that. I'm just like, I'm a positive dude, and I need positive energy. If people are negative, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You know?
Right. So that leads me to a point that, can I ask him? Because she's like, this is enough of these questions. There's like an example that we talked about on a podcast that like went heavy streamed, and it was like, let's say you're having a good day, right? Like you're about to do a huge performance today, and you hypothetically have a girlfriend, and she texts you and she was like, JC, you didn't fucking make the bed, you didn't do the dishes, I haven't seen you in 2 weeks, like I'm fucking pissed off and shit, and you're about to get on stage.
Yeah. This has happened to me.
Yes, I know, dude. I think it's happened to almost everybody in their own situation. What do you do in that case? Are you going to respond to her, or are you going to be like, I need to do my shit first? Yeah.
I do my shit first. Like that happened to me, like last year. Snails brought me out for the closeout Perry stage Lollapalooza. It was like Slugs music versus Good Vibrations. It was like the biggest set I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
And like literally a minute before my set, my girl at the time was like, "I'm having a panic attack. Like call me right now." I was like, "Bro, I cannot let this energy, you know, into my sphere right now." And like as much as I loved her and like wanted to help her out, like I can't do that right now. You know, it's like after, you know, for sure. But like even for her, it's like, yo, like realize what the fuck I'm about to do.
Yeah.
And you want to bring that negativity towards me when I'm about to have like one of the most euphoric moments of my life on stage. Like, so yeah, I know when to just like like I'll deal with this later. You know.
And if they care about you enough, they'll realize that you have better things to be doing.
Yeah.
At that time.
And she did realize after the fact, like that wasn't the time to spring that on me.
Yeah. So most people in this. Sorry, do you have anything else? I keep talking.
I do, but if you have.
Go ahead. I won't forget.
What is your opinion on today's the new rappers that are coming up, like mumble rappers?
I mean, mumble rap is like kind of like too generalized now. There's so many different styles of like new rappers, but I love a lot of the new rappers. You know, like I like DaBaby, I like Roddy Ricch. You know, I just like swaggy rap. You know, like I came up from the school of like lyricism, but now like that shit is pretty much in the wind.
Yeah.
It's just more about like vibe and cadence now. So it's like as long as you know people want ignorant fucking vocals. I mean, in electronic music, there's basically no vocals, and if there are, it's just some random shit to a pre-drop. So it's like, I'm not like a stickler for like crazy lyricism anymore. Like, you know, I used to be like that, but now I'm just like, the beat's dope and they got good flow. Like, I'm down.
I told you that word swaggy is cool. I say it all the time, and she tries to get on me for it.
I did not.
Okay, so being in the spotlight, being on the forefront where a lot of people see you at all times, most people try to put on that happy face, right? And obviously everyone goes through bullshit behind the scenes.
Right.
You as an individual, what kind of things do you do to pull yourself out of that rut? And what type of advice do you have for other people too?
I mean, I know I see a lot of people, even on EDM Twitter, there's been a whole kind of like wave of people like exposing their depression and negative issues where like it's kind of good to air it out, but sometimes people are almost doing that as a cry for attention more. And for me, like I've actually luckily never really had to deal with depression. I've always been an optimistic dude, even though I've gone through various stages of shit that I should be. I mean, I get upset, you know, of course, but I never let it affect my whole like being, you know, like if I get upset about something, I'll be fucking pissed for a minute. I'm like, all right, well, you know, I'm fucking healthy.
Yeah.
I own a fucking house off music. Like,
yeah,
my life could be a lot worse. You know? So for me, I'm a optimistic dude. So I just push that forward. You know, I don't let bitter negativity like remain with me that long. You know, some things like are hard to let go. You know, but some shit still works me. I'm like, that motherfucker. Like, but you know, overall,
be thankful for what you got.
Be thankful and just like, you know, focus on the positive shit versus the negative shit. You're like, it's all in your head, you know, like if something's like really making you sad and depressed, like if you just don't think about it, like you won't be sad. As hard as it sounds to do, it's like, that's all in your head. That's literally the answer. That's why like at first when I hear people like, oh, he's so depressed and this and that, I'm just like, but I know it goes deeper than that, and there's like some chemical shit in certain people that makes it not possible to do as easily as like me or some other people. But I mean, you know, just think about happy things and you'll be happier.
Yeah. So you do your own visuals?
What's that?
You do your own visuals?
No, I don't create them myself, but like I'm part of the creative process and work hand in hand with people to, you know, make my visions, you know, come to life.
Cool. Is it like one person or is it a team?
Well, I basically, like, my personal visuals I use this dude Ghost Dad. He's actually the Porter Robinson's main guy. Who we actually, like, lived in Boston the same time we went to college together, so we've been homies for years. So he hooked me up and, like, kind of helped bring my vision to life. And he, like, headed up the whole thing. But, like, visual dudes, sometimes they'll have, like, a team of people, like, say, like, he does all the animation stuff. But, like, my visuals have a lot of hand-drawn, like, sketches. So he had someone hand draw all these different ideas, and he takes those and animates them and like does all the shit to them.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Like for 1,000 Volts, I work with someone completely different. So because each project has a different vibe, so certain people specialize in certain things.
Yeah.
But like creating visuals is super fun, and just seeing those come to life, and then like behind you, you're like, oh shit. So,
yeah.
Super cool. We're interviewing the guy doing visuals for EDC and Coachella this year.
Okay.
So we're really excited about that. But I love how EDM, I guess with hip hop it is too like the whole performance side is an art, but with EDM it's like someone created like
hip hop performances are fucking half-assed for the most part. Because I come from hip hop. I don't give a shit about the visuals really.
I know, yeah.
And most of them barely care about how their voice sounds.
Yeah.
But that's what I love about Redman. He's such a professional performer. He fucking knows every word. He fucking studies that shit like a fucking test. You know what I'm saying? Other dudes are just like playing the track. They say like 2 out of 10 words. And you could tell.
Yeah.
So
it's the older generation, man, from back in the day. They actually respect the craft.
The kids now, they're just like trying to get a check. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me about Kylie Jenner, man. We heard there's rumors going on.
What?
Well, I was on the Kardashians, yes. I DJ'd Kylie and Kendall's graduation party at their house, and I was on the show, and I got my song on the episode, and I was on the show, and like my name was on the show.
Yeah.
It's pretty tight.
Yeah.
I still get checks from that, so that's
Woo, man. All right, JayCEEOH, what do you do on your free time, man?
So, I mean, basically, the focus of my free time is basically just being healthy.
Yeah.
Like a lot of exercise and sports. I picked up golf recently.
Ooh.
I love playing golf now.
Yeah.
I'm like a fiend for golf.
Man, I haven't got into it yet, but
It's dope. Like once you're able to hit it, it's like fucking tight.
Yeah.
And you just smash the ball and it's like, oh shit. But like I play basketball. Like I do hot yoga. I like swim laps. I hike. I just do like a ton of like activities.
Yeah.
And just like sports and stuff. Like I played a bunch of sports, so I'm just like any type of competitive activities I'm always trying to do in my free time and just be healthy, eat good, and that's back to the music.
Yeah. What? You good?
I was gonna ask him about his sleeping schedule.
Go ahead.
Do you have? I'm a super sleep nerd. Do you since everything's super weird? Do you have a hard time adapting?
Well, time zones don't really exist to me because
Right.
my schedule is so crazy.
I believe it.
I mean, when you go to Asia, it's a different story. You can't get over that. But I mean, yeah, my sleep schedules just vary. Or like when I'm home, I'm like going to bed before midnight, just eat some edibles, fucking watch some Netflix. I'm out.
Good night.
But like on the road, it could be anywhere from 2 hours of sleep to 0 hours of sleep to 8 hours of sleep. It just depends on the day.
Yeah. What are you watching on Netflix right now?
I just finished the new You.
You? I'm on it. Don't tell me it. I just got to season 2.
That shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just started the Aaron Hernandez documentary.
that was dope.
Shit.
That's dope.
I just started that. I watch hella shit because I'm always on flights. I'm just by myself watching it. So.
Yeah.
Mandalorian's hard.
Yeah. I watched the Ted Bundy thing with Zac Efron. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
That was pretty dope, man. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about the initial, and we can start wrapping it up here too, the initial stages of success and entrepreneurship, I'd say, or anyone who's trying to strive to achieve something business-wise. What kind of mindset does someone really have to hone into? Because I know a lot of people think about entrepreneurship or like DJing or being in the media or whatever it may be, making music. You jump into it and then automatically you get a check, right? From my own experience, after creating the product and now doing the podcast full time, I've noticed that I'm working probably 2 or 3 times more than I was when I was at corporate.
Yeah.
And but I love it honestly because it's for ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So like, what do you have to say about this?
I mean, you gotta set goals and you gotta be patient to achieve those goals. Cause like if you're doing it yourself, like the check isn't gonna come right away.
Yeah.
It could be a while before the check comes. Cause like for me, like I started as just like a club DJ. Like you do a show, you get paid that night. But like once I became an artist, it's like it takes years to be respected enough as a producer to get booked for even low level shows, let alone moving your way up So it's just like, you know, you gotta be patient, man. It's like, and you gotta put in the work. Because if you want to do it yourself, it'll last longer in the long run, but it's gonna take way longer to get there. So it's just, you know, being consistent and putting the work in, like, you know, and like set yourself like stepping stone goals, like as like a podcast, like by the end of this year we're gonna have this many subscribers, or like, you know what I'm saying. And for me, it's like I want to play this many festivals,
right?
Like, you know, set like reasonable goals, and then like, you know, set like crazy goals that would be like in real, like it'd be great if this happened this year, but realistically, if this happened in 5 years, that would still be fucking sick.
Yeah,
you know? So it's just like, you know, managing your expectations for where you're at, and just like trust the process.
Those are diamonds. Those diamonds.
What can we expect from you in the next 3 months to 6 months?
2 huge 1,000-volt singles.
Okay.
We got one with Snails that I'm gonna debut tonight.
Nice.
We got one with Grammatic.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna be doing a lot more JAYCEEOH stuff with Slugs Music and Snails. I just signed a single with Keizo's label.
Oh, nice.
Records, which will also be played tonight.
Oh,
he's
sweet.
Houston.
He is. And I just have a shit ton of JAYCEEOH solo shit, and then 1,000 volts. We're gonna start touring more, do another EP this summer, a lot of big collaborations, and just keep banging down doors.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anything else?
I think that is all. Is there anything else you want to promote?
That's it. Just follow me on all those socials. JayCEEOH at JAYCEEOH. 1,000 volts music 1000 volts music, and Super 7 Records. Holla at your boy.
All right, cool. We also do this one thing to where we ask all of our guests about the day they lost their virginity. If you wouldn't mind sharing that. I'm just playing. It was a pleasure meeting you.
So long ago, I don't remember.
All right, guys. Again, I go by the name of Ray. This is my co-host, Asante. This is the legendary DJ, JayCEEOH. We are the Yacht Club, the #1 podcast in Houston that is officially a statistical fact on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Again, we're posting daily podcasts every single day till December 8th, 2020. So tune in tonight, tomorrow night, and every night after that. We appreciate you tuning back in, and adios.
Peace.